Panic and stress, some very common emotions out there amongst traders. Today we're going to look at the psychology of these emotions, but use a real life practical example to kind of compare how these emotions work in the world of trading. So to talk about this psychology, we are going to use swimming. I think that's something that everybody can relate to in one way or another. Water, swimming, it's very common. So who we have here is Billy Bob. And Billy Bob is looking and he notices that there's some water. And he knows and he sees that there's 10 feet worth of water. Now there's a couple things that Billy Bob is going to do to make a choice. He's either going to do one of two things. He is going to avoid the water, or he is going to jump in. So my question becomes, what's going to lead to either of these? 10 feet of water, Billy Bob, no, I'm going to avoid, or all right, I'm going to jump right in. Well, hopefully you're saying, well, it's 10 feet of water, so it's obviously going to be taller than Billy Bob. So probably this is going to depend on, does he know how to swim? If he knows how to swim, he's going to jump in. If he thinks he knows how to swim, he's going to jump in. If he's like, no, I don't know how to swim, he's going to avoid. So that's the two rational conclusions right there. He's going to avoid or he's going to jump right in. Now what happens when he jumps right in? There's now going to be two possible feelings. One feeling is he's going to be calm. Yeah, cool, I know how to swim. It's great, fantastic. Or he's going to have panic or stress. Now, what would cause panic or stress here if he jumps in? Well, there's one of two things that are going on here. One is he actually does not swim. So in other words, he doesn't know how to swim. So he's going to freak out. He's going to panic. Oh crap, I thought I knew how to swim. What's going on? I guess I don't, and imagine it. If you don't know how to swim, you can probably relate better to someone. I know how to swim, so I can't really put myself in a situation of panic, but think about it. Especially if you thought you knew how to do something and then you get in and you're feeling panic, you're feeling stressed. That is your mind telling you, you don't know what you're doing. You should not be in this situation. Of course, like I said, calm, totally fine. The other possible thing is he does know how to trade, but maybe this 10 feet is in the middle of the ocean with huge waves. Now, I think we can all agree that going swimming in 10 feet of water in somebody's swimming pool where it's nice and calm versus going swimming in the middle of the ocean with huge waves, a little bit, now the person can swim, but the risk levels are a little bit different in both of those situations. So we have that. Now let's get back up here to avoid. Now Billy Bob, he acknowledges the fact, yeah, I understand, a little bit about swimming, but I don't know how to do it. What can Billy Bob then go and do? Well, Billy Bob can go take some swim lessons. I remember taking swim lessons as a kid. And I think probably if you grow up around any bodies of water, that's something that's very commonplace. So now swim lessons, what does that allow him to do? Well, it teaches him how to swim. So now he can head back here and finally jump in. And this is what I want to equate to trading because it happens all the time. I hear people say, I've been studying, I've been doing that, but then as soon as I get in a trade with real money, I panic. Or as soon as I get in, my adrenaline starts flowing and I start to stress out. Well, in this situation, good on you. You're trying to learn, however you're learning, whether that be, the YouTube videos or whatever. That tells me that you're falling into this category. You actually don't know how to trade. Because if you do know how to trade and have a system, have a strategy, have risk management processes in place, you're going to be feeling this. But if you think you know how to trade, so therefore you jump in and you're feeling panic and stress, that is your mind, that is your emotion telling you, hey, you don't know what you're doing. And that is at its core. You might say, no, but I've studied so hard, I do know what I'm doing. No, you don't, because if you knew what you were doing, you would be feeling calm. You would be feeling in charge of the trade. If you're feeling this, this is your mind literally slapping you across the face saying, I know you may think you know how to swim. I know you may think you know how to trade, but no, you don't. This is not good. Panic and stress. I mean, your mind is a very friendly place when you listen to the overall emotions. And panic and stress, it's just, like I said, smacking you across the face saying you don't know how to trade. Now, another possibility, like I said, is this. Maybe you do know how to trade, but it could just be as simple as, what is your position size? Meaning, how much risk are you actually putting on? I mean, you could know how to trade, but all it takes is putting in, too much money into a single trade, and that's going to cause you to start to stress and panic. So before you automatically jump to this, I would say, reduce position size, reduce your risk level. So for example, let's say 500 shares. Bring that down to 200 shares. If even at 200 shares, you're still feeling this box right here, then yeah, you definitely don't know how to trade. But if you drop it down to 200 shares and you think, okay, now I can breathe, I'm not panicking, I'm not stressing, then that tells me that you're just simply risking too much in the first place. You know how to swim, but you're just out there in the ocean with the big old waves. Risk was too much. So again, if you're feeling panic and stress and you think you know how to swim, first reduce position size. So for you options traders, if you're usually doing 10 contracts, drop that down to 5. And if that makes you feel better, if you're no longer feeling those emotions of stress and panic, then yeah, that's probably what it was. It was just you were taking on a bit too much risk via the position size. But if you're still thinking, no, from 10 contracts down to 5 or down to 2, I still don't, I'm just, you're stumbling over your words in your mind because you don't know what to do, then yeah, it's time to take a journey and revisit swim lessons because there's something just not right. And for those of you as traders that are thinking, yeah, I definitely don't know what I'm trading or don't know what I'm doing, then yeah, swim lessons. Now, of course, I am biased because I offer training courses, so I would love for you to take your swim lessons with me. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters here. What matters is you got to recognize what your mind is telling you. If there's some other educational product out there, if there's some other educational service out there that you've been kind of on the fence about, look at that as your swim lessons. You need to learn how to swim before you can jump into the water, because without it, you're going to panic and stress. Just like somebody who doesn't know how to swim, if they were to jump in the water, they're not going to be in a very good spot. I mean, think about it. What happens if Billy Bob wanted to avoid and then somebody pushed him into the water? Billy Bob would be freaking out and stressing. But that's the big difference between swimming and trading. At least with swimming, there's kind of warning signs. You go to a pool. This is the shallow one. That's the deep end. It's letting you know, okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't go in the deep end because I don't know how to swim. But trading is very tricky. It doesn't really tell you how deep the water is. It doesn't tell you how big the waves are. So that's why trading compared to swimming isn't exactly apples to apples. It's more apples to oranges. Because at least, I can sit here and tell you that trading is like the ocean. But, some people are, nah, whatever, dude. You just want to sell me a course. And I understand why you would think that. But at least with water, it's very 3 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet. It's much more black and white. But, trading is a situation where, you got to go through swim lessons. You got to learn how to trade. And for those of you that have gone through all the free YouTube videos and blogs and all this stuff online, you're taking random bits of information and then you hop into a real trade and you're feeling these emotions, odds are you probably don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. So you may want to consider, doing a more structured swimming lesson setting. Again, I'd love to have you with me, but if not, go out there and pursue that, because if you want to have any chance at long-term success, you really got to learn how to swim. So hopefully this all makes sense, but at the end of the day, if you are feeling this, that is your mind's way of telling you, hey, bozo, you're either risking too much money or you just flat out don't really know how to trade. Even though you may think, I put in so much time, you got to listen to these. That's where panic and stress are coming from as trading. It's you in water over your head or in water with big old waves. So get out there, put some time, put some effort into really figuring out, I know how to trade? Am I risking too much? But the good news is it's very easy to tell, because how do you feel when you get into a trade? And those are, my bet would be the 2 possible outcomes right there. So hopefully this helps out. Hopefully this lets you understand where panic, where stress are truly coming from, where they're truly affecting you as traders. And now that you know and understand, hopefully you can go out there and correct it if needed.